Welcome back to the channel, guys and gals. It's Don over Don's Tattooz Garage. Got an update on my 69 Camaro Z28 I'm working on for the Summer of 69 group build hosted by Grant over at Diamond State Speed Shop and Bill over at Loki's Scale Models. Hang on a minute, we'll take a look at that. Plus, I've got a Tattooz story for you. Hold on. Okay, let's take a look at this 69 Camaro I'm building for the Summer of 69 group build. That was the graphic I put up before this video, this portion of the video. I can almost talk this morning. Anyway, Summer 69 group build hosted by Grant over at Diamond State Speed Shop and Bill over at Loki's Scale Models. Anyway, I'll link those guys in the description. And let's take a look at this Camaro. So you can see I did it in silver with the black rally stripes. I'm almost done with it, actually. Let's take a look. I already showed some of the decal stuff. I got the moon eyes down there. I got the stance I like on it. Let's see. As you can see, it's got that old 70s rake to it. But anyway, doing this. Get the kit engine, but I did put a 3D printed carburetor on top, that little 302. Got the master cylinder down in there. Other side, got the moon eyes on there. Blacked out the grill, blacked out the bumpers. Bumpers are same black as the grill, only the bumpers have clear over them, front and back. All right, so, oops. That tail light slipped down on me. I'll have to fix that, but that's not an issue. Underneath, not a lot of stuff going on. I think I showed this already, but I'll show it again. But that's what I got going on with it. And I just noticed when I looked at it, I didn't paint the wheel backs on them front wheels. I have to remedy that before the final. Oh, also, got the ram horn exhaust manifolds on there, but there's no exhaust yet. No tailpipes, nothing like that. Because, as you can see, it still has the brackets down here for the side pipes, which I've got the chrome stripped off of them. Going to be re-chroming these, and they will go on the sides. Now these pipes, yeah, two of these were for the turbos, and they come at more of a 90-degree here. But, or I should say here, and get the pointer instead of my fat finger in the way. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'm going to end up running this up to the manifold, down to the side, and then modifying this end to match up with the side pipes here. So it's going to have exhaust on it. I just still got to do that. When I get the chrome stripped, I did bend both of these pieces to where they've got a similar bend on them. So we're going to end up getting that all put together, get it finished up, get them front wheel backs painted black, and it's going to be a final on it hopefully soon. Sorry about bumping the camera, guys. Anyway, I have a final on it soon. This is just a quick update. Plus, I want to get that Tattooz story out to you. That's what I've got going on the bench. Hope everybody has a great day. Hope you get some bench time in. Stay tuned. Get that Tattooz story to you. All right, let's get into this Tattooz story. It's actually a few stories from my time in Montgomery, Alabama, my first tattoo shop that I owned. I worked with the guy there for a little bit. Well, let me back up. So, if you remember, if you see my other video, I started tattooing when I was overseas. I was on a little island off the coast of Portugal. Anyway, military sent me to Montgomery, Alabama. One tattoo shop in town. I went and talked to the owner, the artist guy, Skip. Anyway, talked to him. He agreed to take me on as an apprentice. Long story short, 3-4 months later, he's offering to sell me the studio. Well, I'm military. I decided, why not? I float a business loan, buy the studio from him, and all of a sudden I'm a tattoo studio owner, and I'm tattooing part-time / full-time, because after my military hours, I was at the tattoo studio working, building the business. Well, like I said, I tattooed for 25 plus years, and that was my first shop ownership and really enjoyed it. Well, I took on an apprentice a little bit later on. This kid come in, a lot of artwork, drawing, pencil drawing stuff he did, and his name was Wayne, and rest in peace, brother. He died a few years ago, but anyway, Wayne was a good dude. He started learning how to tattoo, went to do his first tattoo, and we had another kid that was in there piercing for us, and he volunteered to let Wayne do a tattoo on him. So Wayne gets all set up, and he says, I was working with a customer, and he told me, he said, hey boss, I'm ready to start this tattoo. I said, well, go ahead and get started. I'll be back there in a minute. I was finishing up with the customer I had. Well, I heard him start the machine up, and I heard him gasp. And I was like, uh-oh. So I had finished with the customer. Customer had left. I was cleaning up, so I just peeled my gloves off, walked back there, and Wayne had this look of horror on his face, like, what do I do? And what had happened was the old school coil style machines relied on a rubber band or two to hold the needle onto the armature bar when it was going up and down real fast. Well, he had forgot to pull the rubber band back down, and the needle, as soon as he started, the needle popped off the armature bar and went to the end of the tube and stuck in Kevin's shoulder on his back where he was going to do the tattoo. And Wayne's sitting there holding the machine, still hadn't even moved. Needle stuck in Kevin's back, and Kevin's like, what's going on? And Wayne's like, I just laughed and said, pull it out. Wayne pulled it out. I said, now put the rubber band, reset it, put the rubber band on it, and then go for it. He ended up doing a good job, so he ended up tattooing for a while and ended up being a good friend of mine. Anyway, another one of his times, Wayne had long, straight hair. He was tattooing, all of a sudden the machine stopped. He's like, boss. I'm like, what's wrong? He says, my machine quit. Well, one of his hairs had got between the points for the coils, and well, when you interrupt the points, guess what? It don't work. Another story. I had a pet python in an old console TV that I had turned into a snake enclosure. Well, I had the snake all the way in the back of the studio, and that's also where the bathroom was. I had a black lady come in, going to get a tattoo. She said, can I use your restroom? I said, yes, ma'am, all the way back in the corner. So she starts back there, and all of a sudden she comes screaming through the studio. It was a long, narrow studio with waiting room, my work room, Wayne's work room, and then the back room. Well, she come from the back room, through Wayne's room, through my room, into the waiting room going, there's a huge snake back there. I said, ma'am, she's in a cage. She can't get out. She's like, I don't care. You got to cover it up. So I had to put a towel over the cage. Anyway, also did my first celebrity tattoo. I don't know if any of you remember Def Comedy Jam, but there was a guy on there a long time ago named La La Larry. Anyway, I did a tattoo on him. It was a name I did. I'll just leave it at that. But that was my first celebrity tattoo. All right, so that's some of the things that happened in Montgomery. Stay tuned, because next time I'll have another tattoo story. Next time I'll get into some of the cooler tips I received. So hang on. We're going to get you out of here. But remember, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. I've probably covered this already in the Summer 69 group build portion, but I'm going to say it again. Thumbs up, guys. Remember to comment. If you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. I sure appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, God bless.